There are some really weird things going on right now, and I'm getting stocked up just in case. Hey guys, it's Jara with Wicked Prepared. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I've got another prepper pantry haul to share with you. It just never stops, does it? Every time you turn around, there's something else affecting our food supply or our access to it. From recalls to viruses to catastrophic events. And now we have all this other craziness going on that we need to pay close attention to and make sure that we stay on guard. No matter what the explanation ends up being, if we ever do find out the truth, there's not a single possibility I can think of that's not nefarious or concerning in some way. As we head into winter, these and so many other reasons are why I'm doing everything I can to make sure my family has everything we need no matter what comes our way. So let's take a look at the food and gear that we've added to our preps and our prepper pantry this week. I'm going to start right over here with some of this stuff. What I've got right here is a set of rechargeable hand warmers. Hand warmers are super important to have in your prepping gear for those winter power outages or to have in your vehicle for any time that you're stuck in the cold without a way to heat. Try to keep your hands warm, your extremities warm, and they're useful other times as well. So this is a set of 2. They are rechargeable. And they're also magnetic, so they clasp right together, so you can either have one large hand warmer or you can have 2 smaller separate hand warmers. And they charge up with USB-C, which is nice because that's what most of my things charge with now. You can press the button twice to show the battery level. I don't know if you can see that. It's not fully charged. I have not charged these. That's how they came. And you can long press the button to turn them on, and then it heats up to let you know that they're hot. And you can do different levels of heat. And they heat up pretty quickly. They're already getting warm, and then just long press to turn it off. They do come with a couple of lanyard straps, wrist straps that you could use to attach them to your wrists. They come with a storage bag, and they come with a double-headed charging cord or cable, so you can charge them both at once. So I thought that was pretty nice. And they come in a nice little box, so these would be a great gift for someone. Next, I've got some various headlamps. Now, it might look like I've gone a little bit overboard here, but keep in mind we are coming up towards Christmas, and these make really great stocking stuffers. So everyone in our house gets some sort of prepping related little things in their stocking every year. Usually things like headlamps and hand warmers and glow sticks and things like that. And with all the Christmas deals that have been going on, I basically grabbed some good deals so that I could try these out. I wanted more headlamps. I think are one of the most important preps you can have because they're just a source of light, but they're better than a flashlight because you don't have to use your hands and you can direct the light exactly where you need it. So headlamps are the bomb. They're the thing to have for sure. And they're also handy just for regular times. I like to keep them around the house so I can grab them if I'm going outside to do errands after dark or if I'm going up to one of the attics that we don't have light in or something like that. So I've got a couple of Energizer here. This one is something I've had my eye on for quite a while. So I saw a deal on it and I grabbed it. It's a hybrid power. So this one has a 1,000 lumen turbo mode that you can turn on. And of course, the battery's not going to last as long if you have it in that high power mode, but it's just something you can turn on when you really need the bright light. And then it has all these other sort of different levels of brightness in different modes. A couple of things I like about this is that this part is detachable, so you could use it as a handheld flashlight also. And I love that this is rechargeable, but also can run on batteries because honestly, if I had to take my pick between rechargeable and batteries, I'd rather just have batteries because especially if the power's out for a long time, worrying about recharging things is something I wouldn't have to want to have to think about. I'd rather just have a stockpile of batteries. So, but if it does both, that's great. And this does both. So to turn on the turbo mode, of course, it's light in here, so it's not going to show very well, but you press and hold the button on the top and it's quite bright. And then you can cycle through different levels of brightness. So that's that one. This is just another little Energizer headlamp. I have had a lot of Energizer headlamps over the years, and we do really like these. This is a 260 lumens. It's just a typical basic headlamp that runs on batteries. This is some sort of an off-brand, but I thought I would try it, and I actually like it. It's very bright. It's actually a 2-pack, so there's 2 of them in here. And these are rechargeable. So these don't have the battery option, but it was quite bright. This beam of light went out really far when I used it, tested it out outside in the dark. And of course it does have all the different modes. And it has these motion I can't remember, a sensor mode, so that it will turn on when it senses something in front of it, and off when it senses something in front of it. There we go. So that's kind of handy. I do have to do a little bit of playing with this and figure it out, but it's rechargeable, comes with the charger, pack of 2, and it was a good deal. I will put links to all these items I show down in the description box, so you can go check out if it's something you'd be interested in and see if it's still on sale. Or who knows, maybe it'll be even a better sale. But if you want to keep up on sales on things like this, make sure to join our Deals and Steals Facebook group, because that's where I post deals as I find them in real time. And then this one, I am not sure if I'm going to keep this one. I may end up returning this because it is bulky, which I could tell from the picture online when I ordered it. However, what I didn't realize is that the battery pack is a separate part in the back. So it's got the light up here, and then this cable that goes along with the head thing, and then it's got the battery pack in the back. Now, it made some pretty big claims as far as brightness. I think it claimed like 1800 lumens, which I believe is an exaggeration. I did try it out, and it is pretty bright. But compared to the other ones that I bought and am trying, I just don't know if I would be inclined to use this one with the whole extra bulky parts when I have all these other lights to reach for. So the jury's still out on this one, but I may end up returning it. I tried it on, and it didn't really bother me. It wasn't heavy or anything like that, but I just don't know if I would reach for this, knowing I have these other options. And next I've got this, which is along the same lines as a headlamp, but this was something different that I'd never really seen before, and it's a beanie hat with a built-in light. So I thought this was a pretty cool little stocking stuffer gift. The light itself is not super bright, but it's like, it doesn't have a really far out beam, I don't think, like the headlamps necessarily. But I took this to one of our unlighted closets, and I was able to see really well in the dark closet. So it definitely does work. And the hat I thought was really comfortable, and it's a pretty nice like hat. There's nothing wrong with this hat. So I do kind of like this. Of course, if you wanted a brighter, more specialized and more focused light, you could just wear a beanie hat and put a headlamp on over it. So I don't know how necessary this is, but I thought it was another cute gift or stocking stuffer that would be like a 2-in-1. And this is also rechargeable. And that's one thing about the light, is it is very flat. It doesn't stick out and bump out like a headlamp typically does. So that's actually a good plus about this. Next, I've got a couple more Energizer items. Now, these are not flashlights, but I actually really love these. I bought one of these about a month or 2 ago, and we like it so much that I ordered a few more. Now, it has this sticky part to use to mount to the wall, but what I like about it is it's magnetic. So you're not mounting the whole thing, you're just mounting this little disc. It does take batteries as opposed to being rechargeable, which I actually like. And I'll tell you, we've been using the one in our bedroom for, it must have been over a month, and it's still just as bright. The batteries haven't run out at all. And in my bedroom, it's dim enough that either it's dim enough or I have the setting wrong, so that it pretty much turns on anytime I walk in the bedroom, even when it's daytime. And I actually haven't even mounted the one in the bedroom. I haven't put the sticky stuff on because I just wanted to test it out. And then when we decided we liked it, I just haven't taken the time to mount it. So I just actually have it propped against the wall, but it would be even better mounted. And what I got it for in our bedroom is so that if one of us gets out of bed in the middle of the night, it's really dark in there. And so it's going to light up the path as we approach the door to go to the bathroom or something like that, without having to turn on any overhead lights or lamps and wake anybody else up. But I think these can have really great uses all throughout the house, especially if the power goes out, places like hallways, near stairways. I know my grandmother once, quite a few years ago, my grandpa was, he had dementia, and he had turned off a light that they always left on their stairway. And she was in the total dark, and she turned down the stairway thinking she was turning down the hallway to go to the bedroom, and she fell down the stairs in the dark, and she was probably lucky to survive that. She was really injured. So ever since then, I am obsessive about making sure that there's light near all the stairways in our homes and in our family's homes. So I think these would be a great thing to put tops and bottoms of staircases, hallways. It says it's indoor, outdoor, so you could use it indoor or outdoors. I think these would be great in lots of different places like that. Even if you typically have light, you never know if the power goes out, maybe you wouldn't have light in those places. Next, we got this window plastic insulation kit. This is just kind of easy to use because it comes with everything you need, the double-sided tape, the plastic. We put this on the windows in our kitchen because that's the only room in our house is really old, and that's the only room in the house where the windows haven't been replaced. And it's a lot colder in this room than all the other rooms. But this can be really good to help insulate your house, keep it a little bit warmer in the winter, and help keep your heating bill down however you heat your home. And then if the power does go out in the winter, you're going to have a little bit of an extra layer to help maintain the heat that you have in there and any extra heat that you might create with an emergency heater. Next, I've got a few items that are for like for meals in a jar and things like that. So this one is just says mixed mushroom granules. So it's really just small bits of dried mushrooms. And it has a few different types of mushrooms in here. I love mushrooms, and I think that this chopped up little bits of mushrooms would be really good for like making cream of mushroom soup mix and things like that, where you're making your own cream of mushroom soup, because you can just use these little bits and not use the nice whole slices of freeze-dried or dehydrated mushrooms and just scoop it in. And then this one I got because I wanted to try making a spinach dip mix in a jar that had everything except for the sour cream and mayonnaise. So the freeze-dried spinach and all the seasonings and other vegetables. And I know that I like the water chestnuts in my spinach dip. And so I wanted to see if I could find some freeze-dried or dehydrated water chestnuts. These, I believe, are just dehydrated, and I was a little skeptical of them, but I got them, and they actually worked really well. I made a test run of it, and it worked really well. And I actually did put some of these into a little cup of water just to try rehydrating them, and they pretty much had the crunch of water chestnuts. I was really surprised with this. It was kind of spendy, but it's a huge bag, and I used a very tiny amount for a whole batch of spinach dip. And so this, I think, was a pretty interesting find. And it might open up some more doors because I have some other recipes that I like that use water chestnuts. And if I want to try converting them into meal in a jar recipes, this will help. And then I got these 3 tea and coffee powders. So this is just an instant black tea powder. So this would be good for making like little drink mixes, like a friendship tea and things like that in jars, which are great to make for gifts around the holidays. And of course, it could also be used, you know, just to make tea in emergency situations or something, but it's just pretty much just as easy to use a tea bag. So I bought this mostly for mixes. And then these 2 are Thai tea and coffee powder. I love Thai food. I love to go to a Thai restaurant, and I love the Thai iced tea and iced coffee. I really like the coffee, and Mr. Wicked Prepared likes the tea. So we usually get those respective drinks. And I wanted to be able to make them myself at home. And I'm pretty sure these are the right powders. Now, years ago when I was in college, one of my best friends had spent a lot of time in Thailand, and her stepmother was Thai. So she helped me get what I needed to make it, which was basically a coffee powder and a special little tool for brewing it. And I can't remember what that's called, and I can't think of how to describe it. So I'm going to put a picture on the screen. But I didn't have her help this time, so hopefully I got the right stuff. I'm going to try it out and see. But it's really good stuff if this is the right stuff. And then one more thing I got here. This is kind of interesting. This is a bag of lactic acid. I got this maybe as a flavoring for meals in a jar. I love developing meal in a jar recipes, and I love trying to recreate different flavors. And sometimes I will look at the packaging of, you know, convenience foods, mixes, hamburger helpers, things like that, just to see what a commercial version would use, because of course we're trying to make them healthier and avoid a lot of the chemicals and things like that they use. So lactic acid basically I think is like kind of what gives tang to like sour cream, and this says it can give to add flavor and acidity to vegan cheese. So I think this would be a good addition to certain recipes to give it that little bit of tang. So I just bought it to play with and try, and we'll see if this works out. Next up here, I've got a couple of meat grinders, and these are electric meat grinders, so they're not necessarily great for prepping. I do have an old-fashioned, like an antique manual meat grinder, but I didn't have an electric one. And my friend Cece from KNC Montana Homestead posted a recipe recently for a mock ham loaf. It's their favorite meatloaf, and it's a mock ham loaf that uses a kind of a secret ingredient, a surprise ingredient to make a really yummy meatloaf. And we saw that recipe and we thought it looked so good, right up our alley. So Mr. Wicked Prepared said, you need to make that. And that was exactly the same thing I was thinking. So, and I'm going to put a link to that recipe right down in the description box as well, in case you want to check it out and see if it's something you'd like to make, because it looks delicious. And they've just got a really, really nice, wholesome homesteading channel. So if you're looking for another homesteading channel to follow, I highly recommend. So that was my cue to order myself a meat grinder. But I have a hard time making a decision. So I bought the KitchenAid attachment kind, and this is a generic. It's not the KitchenAid brand. So I'm going to try it and see how it works. So I like that this comes with all these shredding discs and the meat grinder and the sausage stuffing things and the burger patty press and all that kind of stuff. Now this one over here is the same idea, except instead of going onto my KitchenAid, it's a standalone grinder. I thought that might be easier, and I also, like, my KitchenAid is really, really old, and I got a new different brand of mixer, so I don't know how long my KitchenAid's gonna last, so I might want something standalone. And this one came with similar accessories and, you know, different coarseness of blades. I'll probably try them both out and decide if I'm gonna keep them both or which one I'm gonna keep. Maybe do a comparison of them. And then down here, this is an Instafire Vesta, and I'm going to open this up and show you what's inside. So this is the Instafire Vesta stove and heater, off-grid indoor space heater. So one thing that's great about this is that it's safe to use indoors. It uses this canned heat fuel, and this was actually a surprise to me because I didn't realize that this came with 3 cans of the fuel. I have lots of this fuel. I don't have the Instafire brand. I have lots of 6-hour canned heat from other sources. I am curious to see if there's anything better about the Instafire. I don't think that there would be, but theirs is a lot more expensive, so it was kind of nice that it came with 3 cans. So this says compact and portable. It is compact and portable. It's definitely smaller than the Ember oven that we have of theirs. Warms up to 200 square feet with a heat-powered fan. That's something that's really cool, is it has its own built-in like wood stove fan. The heat from the canned heat gets the fan going, and it will blow out the warm air. And a built-in stove, so you can also use this to cook or boil water over. Just like this. So it does have handles on the sides to pick it up with. This is not much larger than a loaf of bread, really. It's a little bit larger, but pull out the snuffer here, it says. So this will expand a little bit. It's going to, one part is going to stack on top of the other. I am not going to get this all set up right now. We will definitely do a review on this stove, and I will probably use this for testing out a few different meals and stuff like that, just to see how it works. So keep an eye out for that video coming up. But this is what it looks like, and it's a pretty small, light, indoor safe stove and heater that I'm really excited about. Now here I've got a whole bunch of different pasta, so kind of like a pasta palooza, because honestly, I think pasta is a great thing to have in your preps. I think it's one of the most basic preps. Most everybody likes pasta. It's pretty quick to cook. You can cook it without having to drain and waste any water. There's so many different things you can do with it. You can mix it with so many different sauces, vegetables, meats, all sorts of things. Make endless meals. And it stores for a very long time without any special treatment. Now this one right here I have bought before, so you've probably seen this. It's some low-carb ramen noodles. And I bought a pack and I tried them out and I really like them. So I've been grabbing another pack every once in a while from Amazon. 3 grams of net carbs. I love ramen, but it's definitely not a healthy choice. So I'm trying to make myself healthier options. This isn't as cheap as ramen, which of course is one of the best parts about ramen, is that it's so dirt cheap. But this is much better for people to eat. It does have 14 grams of protein and 29 grams of fiber. Of course, that gives us the net carbs by subtracting the fiber. Next, I've got another sort of low-carb pasta. I was really excited to find this because, number one, you know I love the Mafalda pasta. This just says ruffles, but it kind of looks like Mafalda. They're short little pastas with ruffles on the edges. This is not sold as a low-carb pasta. In fact, this brand had a low-carb version that I looked at, but this one actually ended up lower in carbs, I believe, than their low-carb version. It's just a lower-calorie pasta, 100 calories per serving, 12 grams of net carbs, which I still think is kind of high. But that is for a serving of 1 cup of dry pasta. And I think that the way I intend to use this, I'll mostly be using much less. I've made a lot of soup meal in a jar lately, and I made a zuppa toscana and I did some low carb versions of it. And that was a really great meal for me. And it really made it easy for me to keep eating like the way that I should, because I had a really quick and easy option. So I want to try to adapt some of my other soup recipes that I really like to a lower carb version. And this pasta will probably help me. And of course, in a soup, there's much less pasta than if you're just eating a dish of pasta. I want to try my chicken noodle soup and my beef stroganoff soup with this lower carb pasta and change out some of the other ingredients to make them lower carb as well, and make them in little single serving cups that I can just put in my mason jar warmer and have a quick, easy, healthier meal. But in general, this will be a good thing for me to store, to have on hand just for a healthier pasta option for myself. And next, I found these snowflake pastas from Barilla. Now, I found these on Walmart's website. I don't even remember how I came across them. I'd never seen them before. And they're obviously a special edition. And I was super, super excited to find these because I love seasonal things. I love pasta and I love seasonal things. So I found these and they weren't available at my store and they weren't available for shipping, but they were available at another store that was about 45 minutes from me that I sometimes go to. And so I decided if I was going to drive 45 minutes to pick up this pasta, I was going to make it worth my while. So I bought 24 boxes of it because this will store forever and a day. We will probably only eat it in the winter, but it's just pasta. It's regular pasta, which we love to store a lot of. If we were in an emergency situation and we needed food, we wouldn't mind eating snowflake pasta in the summer, I'm sure. But I was super, super excited to see this. Has anybody else seen this at their Walmart? And then I got some bags of these Barilla shelf-stable tortellinis. These are dry tortellinis. These are the cheese and spinach because I have a lot of plain cheese shelf-stable tortellinis that I bought other times. But this was a really good deal on Ibotta. Now, if you've never heard of Ibotta, you definitely want to check it out. They give rebates on groceries. I have saved so much money over the years. And a lot of the time, like this ended up being like half price. And this is a good size bag. And it ended up being, I can't remember exactly, but I'll put the deal on the screen. I'm not sure. I don't think the deal is still going on. But there's deals like this on Ibotta all the time. It's a great app to have. I'll put a link down below in the description if it's something that you haven't tried out before. Then you should really give it a try. It's one of the easiest apps like that to use. And there's only one that is a little bit easier, I think. And I'll link that one down below as well. Now I've got a few more dry seasonings. This is sour salt. I used to buy this at the Polish market that I used to go to. And this is basically citric acid. So it's basically vitamin C and it just has a tangy, tangy flavor. So like I mentioned, for meals in a jar, this can help give a little bit of tang if you're looking for a tang that might come from sour cream or lemon juice. And I was checking out the ingredients on like Hamburger Helper Stroganoff and things like that. And I saw citric acid called for as an ingredient. It could be for a preservative or it could be for flavor. I'm not really sure, but this is something I'm going to play with. I have, like I said, I have used it before. I have bought it before. And I like a little bit of tang in a lot of my food. So I like to have this on hand. And then this is a seasoning it's pizza flavored seasoning. It's meant for popcorn, I believe, but I've been buying some of these seasonings with the intention, well, we could use them on popcorn. Popcorn is a great Prepper Pantry item, but I also wanted to use these to flavor like zucchini chips in the dehydrator or the freeze dryer. I have bought a dill pickle flavor and I thought I would try this pizza flavor and I smelled it and it smells really, really good. It smells kind of like the pizza combos, which I used to love combos. I don't eat them anymore because they're probably not very good for you, but I do love them. So I think this will be a really fun seasoning to have on hand for things like that. And next I've got my freeze-dried food that I grabbed for this month. Some of this actually came from the end of last month because, of course, there was big sales for Black Friday. So I did a lot of stocking up. This is the best stuff you can get for your Prepper Pantry, partly because of the cans that it's stored in. This is going to last, most of these items last 25 years if you leave them in the can. And then when you open them, most of them, you have a year to use them up once the can is open. So they're really just great to have for grid down, for emergencies, and for every day. The company is amazing. They have no GMOs. They use no artificial colors, no artificial flavors, no preservatives, things like that. You don't need it with freeze-dried food. You don't need preservatives. Some of the things I got here is I got some strawberry yogurt bites. These are just little snacks basically, but you can use them like in smoothies and things. They're super, super tasty. And these, they do maintain the live and active cultures, or the probiotics from the yogurt is maintained in freeze drying. So like probiotics can be freeze dried. So these are actually pretty healthy as far as that's concerned. And you can see they have very simple ingredients. They just have sugar, strawberries, skim milk yogurt, a starch to thicken it, and natural flavor and black carrot juice, which gives it its color. So these are a nice treat to have on hand. And this is another treat. See, most of these are like single ingredient whole foods, but I did get some treats this time, and partly because, like I mentioned, the holidays are coming up. These are coconut bites, and I got these, I got a whole case of these, which is 10 of these quart-sized cans, because these make really great gifts in addition to gift baskets and things. So they are a sweet treat. They're not really supposed to be like a healthy food, but they still have no GMOs, no additives, no artificial colors or flavors, and 25-year shelf life. So if you're looking to have sweets in your prepper pantry, this is a great way to go. And you can see the ingredients, like I said, are very, very simple. So they've got sugar, real sugar, which unless you have a problem with sugar, like you're diabetic or something, real sugar is a lot better for you than like artificial sugar. So it's got sugar, coconut milk, tapioca starch, and natural flavor, and that's it. Then I got a couple cans of just freeze-dried red grapes. These are so good. If you think about raisins, these are a million times better than raisins to have an actual freeze-dried grape. They're mostly for a snack for us, but you can also use them in something like chicken salad, recipes like that. I have done chicken salad meal in a jar, where you have everything in the jar and you just dump in a little bit of water, and then you've got your chicken salad a few minutes later. I do love to focus on keeping things like this shelf stable in our prepper pantry, because this is something, for instance, that we wouldn't be able to grow where we live. I mean, we have wild grapes, but they're definitely not very tasty. So this is something that I want to make sure I have shelf stable. I got a couple cans of honey crystals, so honey powder basically, which I like to have on hand. This is good in tea, coffees. I've used it in smoothies. I've used it in chia puddings to sweeten. It's good for lots of different things. I got a can of beef bouillon. I really like these bouillons because they don't have MSG and they don't have gluten. And they're pretty simple in their ingredients. They don't have a long list of chemicals like a lot of bouillons that you might look at. And they're also vegetarian. So if you have anybody in your family who's vegetarian, like my daughter likes to eat vegetarian, she can have this, but it just tastes like beef or chicken. It doesn't taste vegetarian. Next, I've got a can of blueberries, because these are on sale. So I grabbed these because we love these for snacks and for baking. I've also got strawberries and pineapple, just another couple things that we love. And especially like the pineapple, we definitely wouldn't be growing around here if we couldn't get it from the store, or if the supply chain broke down. And these are going to last a lot longer. Pineapple in a like canned pineapple, because of, I guess, the enzymes or the acid, sometimes those are the first type of cans to give way. So this is tested and proved in these cans to last 25 years. And then strawberries. I mean, my kids just absolutely love the strawberries. And once again, they can be good for desserts and baking. I've used these in canning. I've used them in all sorts of things. So next, I've got these 6 smaller cans right here, which are called pantry cans. Like I mentioned, they're quart size. These other cans are gallon size. So these 6 cans are what's called a monthly specials pack. So there's monthly sale items every month. And you can get an extra special deal if you buy a pack that has a small can of each item that's on sale that month. And I tend to prefer to buy my freeze-dried food in the larger cans if I can, because it's usually the better deal. But sometimes I like to have smaller cans if we are going to grab them to take camping, or if I'm putting together a gift basket or a gift for someone. And there's lots of reasons why I might sometimes want the smaller cans. So I will sometimes grab one of the monthly special packs. But they are a great way for people who are new to using freeze-dried food to be able to try out a wide variety of items and save a little bit extra doing it, and try out more things faster so that they know what they like. Because like with everything in prepping, you want to store what you eat and eat what you store. So you want to make sure you're storing things that you enjoy eating. Now, these few items here, I am only showing 3 of the gallon-sized cans, but I did buy a case of these, which is 6 of the gallon-sized cans, because the best possible deal is if you buy by the case. It gives you the lowest cost per serving or cost per ounce. The milk is on sale. This is instant milk, and it's really good milk. And I love that it's real milk, unlike some of those milk-like products that some of the other companies sell. This is real milk, and it's good. And with everything that's going on with the whole dairy situation right now with the bird flu, and they're going to start testing all basically milk at the farm level for the bird flu, and that really could mess with our supply and our prices of things. So I want to make sure that we're prepared for that. And so we keep a lot of this milk on hand. Right now it's 50% off, so I grabbed another case. It's just very important to have that covered right now. And then, of course, I grabbed spinach, green beans, and pulled pork. The pulled pork is amazing. If you've never tried freeze-dried meats before, you would be amazed at the difference between freeze-dried and canned. That's what brings a lot of people to freeze-dried food, is the meats and the proteins. And then, of course, green beans, spinach. I'll use these in meals in a jar for one. The chopped spinach I especially love because there's so much nutrition in spinach, and it's really easy to use in this form because it's already chopped and it's freeze-dried, which maintains all of the nutrients that were in the food. You're not going to lose it like you would with dehydrating or canning, because those are high heat processes. So you've got all that nutrition maintained, and it's so easy to just take a scoop of that chopped spinach and stir it into anything and add that nutrition. And unlike frozen chopped spinach, which used to be my go-to, that has to be thawed and squeezed dry, and I absolutely hate that process. So the freeze-dried chopped spinach has become my new best friend. Now over here, let's see, I have got, this is a portable charger. Now, if you're a frequent viewer of the channel, you know that I have lots of different portable chargers. I think it's really, really important to make sure that you're always going to have your phone charged and accessible. I want to make sure my kids always have that. It's your way to call for help. It's your way to find your way if you're lost. It's a tool for so many different things. What I liked about this charger, it's different than, I've never had one like this before. And I like that it has a built-in cable that will come out and lock itself in place and then retract when you're done. So this gives you a little bit larger of a cable than some portable chargers. This does not have the prongs to plug into the wall like the ones that I use most often. So this one you would have to charge with a cable. It's a little bit big and a little bit heavy for a 10,000 milliamp hour charger, but that's because it has the reel for the cord built in. So I did want to try this one. I've never had one like this before. I wanted to see how we like this as far as an option for charging. Next, I've got some personal care type of items. So this is Midol packets. Now, I am a big fan of the individual dosage packets of medications for things like having in your vehicle, in your on-the-go first aid kits, in your purse. These I got to make sure that my daughters can have these in their little mini first aid kits that they have at school. It's definitely not the most economical way to purchase medications like this, but so obviously we don't do this all the time. We just buy them just for on-the-go use, but it's really handy to be able to have a dose right with you in an individual little pouch that is super thin and super portable, and you could just stick it right in your wallet or anywhere. And we usually have the basics like ibuprofen and Benadryl and stuff in these type of packs, but this is the first time I've ever gotten Midol. Next, I got a pack of it's a 6x5 pack of flushable wipes. Now, obviously, you know what flushable wipes are. Most people will recommend that you actually don't flush them, even if you're on a sewer system, a public sewer. Just throw them away instead of flushing them. But I mean, these can supplement toilet paper. They can take the place of toilet paper. We all know why it's important to have toilet paper, because for some reason, whenever things start to go awry, that is the first thing people rush to buy. So keep yourself well stocked in toilet paper so that you can avoid all that mess. But having wipes like this can be just another option and another layer to that part of your prepping. Next, I found these. I found these actually at Dollar Tree, and I thought these were kind of cool, so I grabbed them. They are plastic disposable cups with glow sticks that you can tuck in under the rim. And I think these would be great for power outages. I mean, I'm sure they're meant for parties or something, but I think if you had a power outage, especially if you have kids, something that would make it easy for people to, see their drink, find their drink, know which drink was theirs. It would be fun for kids. And sometimes when the power's out for kids, either they're scared or they're bored. So either way, having something like this to lighten the mood would be a fun item to have, I think. Next, I've got this little thing of soothing nighttime dry eye therapy. I actually got this because our vet prescribed, well, it's not a prescription, but gave us this for one of our dogs. And of course, it cost about twice as much through the vets as it does through just Amazon. So I thought I would grab another tube while I could now. So if we run out, we'll have it. I won't have to get it from the vet. And it's also just a good thing to have on hand, I think, because it's obviously it's meant for humans. So, and having things for eye care is an important part of first aid and all of that. Here's another seasoning. This is a cherry cola barbecue rub. And I'm thinking I could possibly, I mean, we could just use this as a barbecue rub, but I may also use this in meals in a jar. I'm not really sure. I was looking at a recipe for a certain pulled pork, and they used cola in the ingredients. And so for meals in a jar, I'm always looking for dried versions of ingredients. So I don't know how much cola flavor this will have, but I thought I would give it a try because it sounds good anyways. So even if we just end up using it for barbecue, that'll be fine also. A few more canned items. This Campbell's gravy, I actually found at Dollar Tree recently. Now the sausage gravy, I was pretty excited because we like that at our house and we go through a lot of it. So I thought we'd try the Campbell's brand because it was only $1.25, which most of the ones that we buy have gone up in price. They used to be 99 cents. But so this was a good deal for what we can find now. And we did try a can and it's pretty good. So I would buy some more of this. And the turkey gravy, this I bought for some meals in a bag that I did Dollar Tree meals in a bag where all of the ingredients are all shelf stable and you put all the ingredients for one meal into a bag all together. So you just grab the bag and cook the meal. I used this turkey gravy and I didn't think twice about it. But when I tried it, it was really, really tasty. I've usually only used the gravies in the glass jars and not really cared for them that much. This was really so tasty that I went back to buy more. And they didn't have it. I think they might only get it at Thanksgiving time. So that was a bummer. So if I get to other Dollar Trees, I'll check and see if they have any left. This was really good gravy. I mean, if you're going to use a pre-made gravy and not make your own, I think this is the way to go. And then some whole baby clams. I love clams for recipes and different things. And it's a good protein to have in your prepper pantry. I think if you like seafood and if you like clams and clam chowder and things like that, you can see it's a good source of iron, and of course, it's a good source of protein. This is not the brand I typically buy, but this was another Ibotta deal, and so the Ibotta deal made this cheaper than the one that I usually buy, because I basically just pick based on price, so I buy what's cheapest. Back here are a few more pet items, because we always want to prep for our pets. We have 6 dogs, so that's really kind of an important part of our life. And an important part of our prepping is to make sure that we have what we need for them. So these are some things I'm trying. There's 3 dental water additives, and these are supposed to, well, it's supposed to help with their breath, but it's also supposed to help with keeping tartar off of their teeth. And so if in an emergency you would not have access to doggy dental care, and even if it wasn't an emergency, doggy dental care is really expensive. So if you can do something to keep it, keep on top of it without needing the dental treatments, then I'm going to try these and see which ones work the best. So I'm going to try these. And then this is a doggy dental powder that is supposed to help clean their teeth and freshen their breath. So I'm going to try these things and see how they work. And if we like them, we'll choose the ones we like and probably stock up and keep these on hand. One more canned item right here. This is just cream of chicken. I actually got quite a few more than just 2, but I didn't want to run out of space on the counter. I use a lot of cream of chicken soup in recipes, and if I can get it cheap, I will. So it's been a good price on Amazon lately, so I've been stocking up. Actually, they had a really good deal. Just the other day, I ordered cream of chicken and cream of mushroom with a save $5 on, with a save $10 off of 30 or something like that deal, and it was an amazing deal. So if they still have that deal, I will post it in the description box below. If you use Campbell's soups, that was a great way to get them. These Lily's, these are milk chocolate covered almonds. So these are keto because they're use a sugar-free chocolate. I love chocolate covered almonds, and that's one of my weaknesses. So finding a sugar-free version, I was super excited. It's really important to have snacks and sweets and treats in your prepper pantry. That's what most people say they wish they had more of when they do have to live through a time that they're living out of their prepper pantry. I have gotten the dark chocolate ones, which I prefer, but this was a really good deal on Walmart, so I grabbed these just because it was a good deal, and I'm sure I'll probably like them almost as much as the dark chocolate. Another snack item, this is something I'd never seen before, but I thought my kids might like to snack on these, and like I mentioned, it's important to have snacks on hand, plenty of snacks. In an emergency, especially with kids, you might not want to be cooking up a meal right away. You might want to have just things you can grab and eat without having to heat them or cook them. So peanut butter wafer sticks with a strawberry jam dip. I had never seen this before, and I thought we would try it. Then I grabbed peanut butter protein granola. This was also something new. I don't know if it's new, but I'd never seen it before. My kids love granola, and I thought that this would be a good option to have on hand. Put it in some vanilla yogurt, maybe with a little sprinkling of mini chocolate chips. And I thought that would be a really tasty treat. And I have actually made yogurt out of this instant milk, and it worked really well. It was really yummy yogurt. And so you could do that in an emergency if you had the cultures to use to make the yogurt. A few more canned items. These were more deals from Ibotta, so these were cheaper than buying the store brand this way with those Ibotta deals. Artichoke hearts, I've got both the regular canned and the marinated, which I love these. Use them in a lot of recipes. And the water chestnuts as well. Once again, I use those in recipes, and this was a really good deal. And canned items will last a very, very long time, much longer than they say that they'll last. So I always stock up on extra whenever I can find a good deal. Down here, this is a 6-pack of Folgers instant coffee. Now, instant coffee will last basically forever. It is basically freeze-dried coffee. And it's good to have on hand some way to make coffee. If you don't like instant coffee, maybe this isn't the way for you. We store ground coffee and other ways to make coffee, but we also store instant. It can be really easy, and we actually do use it in the summer, even without an emergency or a power outage. We use it just to make iced coffee. So we do rotate through it, because that's really important too, is to make sure that you're using what you store and storing what you use. So make sure you're rotating through things. Even if it's something you don't typically use, if you think you have a reason to store it, find a way to use it so it's not just sitting there. And then cereal. This is a really good example of use what you store and store what you use. These are my kids' favorite cereals right now. I mean, you know kids, they go through phases, but they eat this stuff really pretty rapidly. So I try to keep on top of it and have quite a bit on hand. This was one of the other things. This Crave cereal right here is not available at my store, and it's not available for shipping, and it's more expensive the places that I can get it shipped from. So this was another thing that I found at that 45-minute away store. So I made it worth my while to drive that 45 minutes by buying 24 boxes of pasta and 10 boxes of cereal, I believe. But cereal, I think it's a really great item to have in your prepper pantry, especially as long as you have some kind of milk, whether it's powdered or the liquid shelf stable, or both. We store both of those. Some of the benefits is the powder is going to last a lot longer. The boxes, the shelf stable boxes, last about a year. They don't last that much longer past their expiration. This powder, like I said, can last 25 years, but you also have to have water to mix it up. So there's benefits to each one. But if you have milk too, I think cereal it fits the bill, like the snacks, as something you can eat quickly and easily without having to cook anything. But it's a little bit more like a real meal. I feel like it's a little bit more hearty and filling and satisfying. And cereal, of course, is fortified, meaning they've added vitamins and minerals to it to make sure that people don't get nutritional deficiencies. Of course, it's better to get the nutrition from the real foods rather than from supplements or fortification. But in an emergency, it's better than nothing, especially if you've got picky kids or anybody picky. It's not just kids that can be picky. Making sure that people are going to get their nutrition. Then the last thing I've got up here is just these little Doritos bags. These are the Cool Ranch. I do have the regular ones coming, but they haven't arrived yet because one of my kiddos likes the orange ones better. But once again, these were on sale, so it was a good price. I think it's 40 of those little bags in there. Once again, having snack items on hand is important. And we can even use these for meals. In fact, we use these a lot when we're camping and do walking tacos with them. And that's something that you could do as an emergency meal as well. That would be fun and not make a lot of extra dishes if you didn't have your dishwasher and running water. Remember, we've been building our preparedness gradually for years. So this just represents restock and improvements that we make to our preps a little at a time. If you're just getting started and looking for a basic guide of what foods every person should store, I'll link that video here at the end of this one. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below about everything that's been going on with the drone sightings, what you think is going on, and what it could mean looking at the big picture. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, leave me a UFO or alien emoji down in the comments, and check out this video next for a breakdown of Prepper Pantry essential foods. I'm Jara with Wicked Prepared. Survive today, thrive tomorrow. We'll see you next time.